Fall Guys is dead once again, and it's honestly really sad. So I was browsing the usual hellhole Twitter, and I saw that the hashtag #SaveFallGuys was trending. And I was like, what's going on this time? I literally played Fall Guys a few weeks ago, and I spent $10 on the new season. So what's going on? Well, the Save Fall Guys trend was full of dedicated fans worrying and pleading to the company Mediatonic to fix the issues going on with the game. The game became free to play not so long ago, and it brought tons of players to the game. The first season was super great and much enjoyable, and the second season added few new levels and some brand new cosmetics. But when I played in one of my last videos, I noticed it was really hard to even get a 60-player lobby. It would usually be about 40 players. I excuse it as just the lack of players at the time, coincidence, or maybe some server issues. But after reading through the trend, I realized I was wrong. And there are some serious issues going on. The first issue people are complaining about is the SBMM, or the skill-based matchmaking. So the rundown of skill-based matchmaking is that if you play the game a lot, it's not even that you're really good at the game, but if you spend a lot of time, you will automatically be placed with players who spent also a lot of time or who are good at the game. This is in place so that if a new player comes and plays the game, they won't be playing with the really good players, they'll be playing with people on the same time and same level as them. This is so that they can win the game and continue playing the game as well. Now, many games are adding this, but a lot of times the gamers don't like it. And especially in a game like Fall Guys, where it's supposed to be a casual game. If you want to read a bigger list of the issues, you can read this slide on the screen by Fard Studio on Twitter, where he shows many of the problems. A big one on here is that if you're good at the game or spent a lot of time, you can't even find more than 40 players in a match because everyone that's playing is probably lower than you, and the match pool with the people who are good at the game is a lot smaller. So your access of players of playing the game is so much smaller. That's why it takes forever to find a match. And that was the issue I was running into I talked about earlier. Also, Fall Guys is a casual game, and most of the rounds are even luck-based. So having skill-based matchmaking makes no sense at all. There is a lot more about skill-based matchmaking, but there are even some bigger issues at hand here. Another issue is just the lack of shows in the rotation. In Fall Guys, shows are what they call the little mini games that you play to progress. In another slide made by Damien Tail 1, the last season rotation used to have 54 rounds and tons of variations. But with the new season, tons of the old shows aren't even added back, and because of that, there are less shows in the pool, so when you're playing the game, it feels like you're playing the same rounds a lot more often, which makes the game boring even quicker. Another issue is the currency of the game, kudos. You get kudos by playing the game, or you do it by completing daily or weekly challenges or progressing through the season pass. And even if you purchase the season pass, the time to earn the currency takes forever. Here's another slide by Damien Tail 1 where they break down that if you were to do every daily challenge and weekly challenge, it tells you how long it would take you to get the cosmetics. And on a side note, shout out to all these Twitter users who made these slides breaking down the issues. It really does help show people who aren't too familiar what is wrong with the game. A general issue for the game is that a lot of the rounds have bugs and they need to be fixed. And in one of my recent videos, I came across a lot of major issues. For example, the Pixel Painter mode that got added in the new season allows you and your teammates to match the pixel art on the screen. The issue is griefers.
Just grab him!
He's
grab
him. Stop griefing!
Good job, man. Look, you did it. You fucking happy?
I hate people.
I hope you get to the gosh!
Not only can your own teammates, if you're playing with a random person, they can grief you and you'll never win, or they can literally glitch on the other team and jump out and go to your side when they're not supposed to and just grief, and that hasn't been fixed. And overall, the big issue is just the lack of communication from Mediatonic. This has always been an issue with game developers. At least give some updates. Say something on Twitter instead of posting a bunch of memes. I understand that's your job, but we need updates. And definitely speak upon the issues, especially if a trend is happening about the downfall of your own game. There are some smaller issues that we can discuss, but I wanted to talk about the heavy hitters. I love Fall Guys. I loved the game when it originally launched, I still enjoyed it when it fell down, and I loved it even more when it came back free to play when a new flux of players enjoyed the game. I mean, here are my hours to even show that. It really is sad to see a fun, casual, and amazing game get turned into an even less active game than it was before, especially with issues that just don't seem to get resolved. I mean, in last season, there were some times these weekly challenges you couldn't even do, and they fixed them a day or two before, and I think even one time they didn't even fix it at all. I'm not sure what's going on at Mediatonic, but they need to pick their shit up, and they need to fix the game. As many fans are upset that they can't even play the game properly, they will lose even more players, and I'm telling you, Fall Guys is definitely going to die again if they don't fix this. Make sure to leave a like on the video if you enjoyed this and want to see more discussion and news like this, and if you would excuse me, I'm about to play the even better Bean game. I just found a random Bean game on Steam. I literally had no idea. I just found it. It's free to play, and it looks like it was made in 10 minutes.